Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Estrella virtual visit series. I'm Allison Campbell with Estrella Consulting, and I'm so excited to welcome Juls Sweet from Union College. Our virtual visit series is designed to introduce all of you to a variety of colleges and allow for you to get to know the institutions and their staff in a more personal way. So thank you, Jules, for joining us. We really appreciate it. Let's kick it off by having you just tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been at Union.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me. Hi, everybody, virtually. I'm Jules. I use she, her pronouns. I'm an assistant dean of admissions here at Union. I'm also a Union grad, so I love this place through and through. Um, During my time at Union, I was a neuroscience and economics double major. I was a varsity golfer on the golf team here. I was a dancer. I did a ton of research, 8 projects if we're counting. So you can really do a lot here, which is really wonderful. Um, and I had the opportunity to come back after I graduated, and I absolutely jumped at the chance. So I've been here for about 2.5, 3-ish years, somewhere like that. But I've been really impressed that my experience as a student has carried over in terms of the connections that I've made to my time as an employee. So it's been really wonderful to be able to experience the union community in a different way.
That's awesome. You probably saw my reaction when you said that you were a golfer. I actually coached women's golf at
Did
a
you
Division III
really?
school at my alma mater.
No
So I feel like
kidding.
right off the bat, we kind of have a little bit of connection. Like
Absolutely.
I used to be an admission officer at my alma mater, which is a private liberal arts school in the Cleveland area. I coached golf, so that's kind of a
There you
small world
go.
connection. But yeah, I totally understand that. Like it's really easy to recruit and talk positively about a place that you're very invested in and you could speak to the experiences as a student, the academics, the social life, the things that are available to do around. So that's really great. I'm glad that you
Yeah.
decided to stay and they decided to keep you.
Me too. I
Yeah,
say thanks every day.
I know. Very grateful. I feel like before we talk a little bit more about Union, can you please explain your adorable background?
Oh my gosh, yes. So this is Charger, the puppy. She's the cutest ever. So she is our school mascot. So you'll see her around campus going for walks or, at admitted students events or campus events. Um, but she is our mascot because we are the Union College Garnet Chargers. And that is a connection to Schenectady, the fact that GE was founded, I believe, and very much a hub in Schenectady, New York. So that's what we named Charger after, and that's our mascot. So she is absolutely precious. Feel free to go give the Instagram a follow because she's on there a lot. At Union College on Instagram for sure.
I love it. I was like, that's such a like unfair marketing tool to have that adorable dog. I was like, oh, that's the first thing I wanted to ask about was how cute the dog was. So
Well, and get this too. We have therapy dogs at Union, and you can sign them out like library books and take them for walks. It's the
oh,
best thing ever. So like if
do
you're
you
stressed
have a
out because of
10-year-old?
your chemistry exam, go to the wellness center, take a dog for a walk for 15, 20 minutes. It's the best. It's the best.
That's incredible. Do you have students that train the dogs as well? So is that kind of like a like quid pro quo type program?
Yeah, I don't think students train them. I think they're staff members who train them and work with them and bring them home, and they're part of families too, which is nice.
I love that. That's great. So tell us a little bit about Union, if you can. Just like where are you located? What's your enrollment like? Kind of what are like your academic principles or tenants? We'd love to hear a little bit more.
Absolutely. So Union is a small liberal arts institution. We're located in Schenectady, New York, which is upstate New York, just north of Albany, the state capital. What makes us unique is that we are really interdisciplinary. We have social sciences, we have arts, we have humanities, we also have engineering and natural sciences here. So you heard me say that I did neuroscience and economics. That's the kind of combination that is unique, but not at Union. It's something that, you know, people are just getting involved in trying different combinations. So it's a place where you can do multiple things and be multifaceted and be interdisciplinary. We're small, as I mentioned, it's about 2,100 students here, and we're all undergraduate. So that means we're really fantastic in terms of connections with your professors, with staff members, with research opportunities. I literally had just in here one of my favorite students. His name is George. I met him on a high school visit when I first started. in admissions at Union, and now he's one of my tour guides. And we were just chatting about he's really interested in shot put, so we were talking about the Olympics and like he loves weightlifting. So like those are the kind of personal connections and mentorships that you'll find here, which is really special.
That's great. That's awesome. So would you say the type of student that you're looking for at Union is one that is multifaceted, that has a lot of different interests and wants to pursue those interests?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. The good news is you don't have to know exactly what all those facets are, right? It's not like you have to have identified them all in high school. You have plenty of time to figure it out. But being open-minded and willing to try different things so that you can explore those different facets is something that we're looking for. You know, you may find that you come in as a computer science major and you might love theater. One of my other student tour guides, Jay, found that, and now he's a big proponent of our theater and arts programs at Union. We want you to be open and willing to make those connections between disciplines, but also with your peers and with folks who have different ideas and different beliefs as you. And so what it does is it basically gives you this community with folks from so many different interests and backgrounds that you're gaining bits and pieces of different disciplines just by interacting with the community at Union. So it helps round you out as a person and helps give you more depth and breadth to your understanding of the world, but to your discipline as well.
Oh, that makes sense. So as you're recruiting students and you're on the road and you're meeting with students, like what kind of stands out as maybe some personality or character traits or academic traits or things that you're seeing on transcripts that you think that would be a good fit for us? Like what type of things do you see when you're on the road and makes you think like that's going to be a good fit?
Yeah, usually when I meet students, I a lot of times what strikes me is their energy, and you don't have to be like the most bubbly, vibrant, outgoing person ever, but being engaged and really caring about what you're doing, whatever that is, right? For George, as I mentioned, he loves shot put and weightlifting, right? And he's a physicist, so he loves those things, but maybe you absolutely love art and engineering and you want to combine those two. I love meeting students and seeing folks who are really passionate about what they're doing or passionate about exploring a little bit. So that
Okay.
passion is definitely a trait, being multifaceted, and then being connected, as I mentioned, both between disciplines, but also with your peers and with the community. It's a really supportive place to learn and grow here at Union. And so we want to be able to continue to foster that environment for our students.
So would you say when you're, reading applications or, trying to identify students that have maybe on their transcript just different academic interests versus someone who's like STEM, or, whatever their passion might be. Like you're looking for someone who has a little bit of diversity on a transcript or in their extracurriculars or interests versus someone who's
Yeah,
hyper focused on one thing and they want to pursue that.
Yeah, it's really not a make or break in the application process because we use a holistic process. So we're using information about, what you enjoy doing, but also, if you had a dip in your grades, if that was due to a family circumstance, whatever it is, we care about you as the whole person, right? So it's not like you have to have multiple interests to come to Union, but it's definitely something that makes me say, oh, that's cool. I hadn't thought of that before. Just like someone who's really invested in volunteering, maybe they've been volunteering with the same organization for so long, can have that same impact where I say, oh, I'd never heard of that organization before. That's a really cool investment and opportunity that they're taking.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, very good. Can you explain to us maybe any trends that you guys are seeing in regards to admission? Would you consider Union to be more of like a regional draw university, or are you getting kids from all over the US, all over the world? Just tell us a little bit about what you're seeing from that aspect.
Yeah, absolutely. So we get students from all over the world. Um, our international population is about 11%. So we have a strong international crowd at Union. Obviously, being in New York, a lot of students from New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York will come to Union. But I have friends and students that I've met who are from Texas and California and Minnesota and Louisiana and Florida. So we really recruit from all over the US and all over the country, or excuse me, all over the globe as well.
Okay. Would you say that there are any trending majors at Union or maybe some flagship programs that do attract students from, you know, outside of your regional area?
Yeah, so I can share a little bit about both. So for majors, some popular majors include biology, economics, mechanical engineering, political science, psychology. All of those are very popular at Union. But we also have a couple of programs that we're well known for. One is our leadership in medicine program. It's a direct admit to medical school. So you'll do 8 years. 4 of those years will be at Union. You'll get an interdisciplinary degree because we want you to have the natural sciences perspective, but also a humanist perspective to be a doctor. And then you will work on your master's degree through our partnership with Clarkson University in your final year at Union. So when you graduate from Union, you'll have your bachelor's and your master's degree, and then you'll go for 4 years at Albany Medical College without having to take the MCAT. So you apply to this program as an incoming first year, and that has a November 1st deadline. Um, so it's not like you can apply early action and apply to the leadership in medicine, or early decision and to the leadership in medicine program. It's kind of its own entity.
Okay.
And that's because there's a few extra requirements we need for it. Clinical experience. Basically, we want to make sure we know what you're getting into, that you know you want to be a doctor, and that you've had experience in the field. So shadowing, working as an EMT, outpatient care, all of those things would count. And then we also are looking for qualifying test scores. We need an SAT or ACT specifically for the leadership in medicine program. Union is test optional, but that program is not. And then the other program we have is our 3+3 law program, which is a combined program with Albany Law. So you'll do 3 years at Union. You can opt to do a fourth at Union, and then you'll go straight to Albany Law. You will have to take the LSAT though.
Okay. I like to type notes while we're speaking because I keep like this Google Doc that anybody on our team can reference. So bear with me as I type out the notes, but
Absolutely.
requires LSAT. How
And that
far
program
is
needs testing.
Albany? It sounds like you do a lot in collaboration with them. How far would you say distance-wise is Albany from Union?
Yeah, 25, 30 minutes. It's really not far. Um, there's a big mall called Crossgates in Albany, and so we'll have shuttles that'll take students out there on Friday afternoons. So it's a nice spot to go hang out with friends, catch a movie, do some holiday shopping, whatever is working for you.
Okay.
So it's nice and close.
Well, it's probably nice for like your poli-sci majors to have the state capitol within
Exactly.
act like
Yes.
very accessible. Biology or your pre-med students to have probably a state hospital system there. So that's
Yeah.
nice.
There's actually a hospital about a block from campus as well. So a lot of our students will work there or intern there. And there's a ton of engineering firms in the area as well. So it's a great spot to be.
That's great. That's good to know. I've never been to Schenectady. Our neighbors across the street actually are from that area, Albany,
Oh, really?
Schenectady. So yeah,
Yeah.
small world.
Small world.
So I feel like Union's relatively selective. Last time I looked, it was like in the mid 40s range for selectivity. Do you track or consider demonstrated interest for students that are interested?
We do, and we are considered highly selective. The great news is that, COVID was bad, don't get me wrong, but it brought about some great opportunities where now you can show interest by attending virtual programs or virtual interviews as well. We have a number of rotating programs that will, showcase student panels and faculty panels, but also just virtual info sessions. So if you can't make it out to see us in person, that's a way to show interest as well. We also do a great amount of traveling. So I personally travel to New Hampshire, Maine, Western Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, and the Boston area. But my colleagues, we split up the whole U.S. and a variety of international countries as well. So it's likely you'll see one of us at a fair or a school in your area.
Okay, that sounds great. If you have a student maybe that's low income that really would like to visit, do you have any type of access programs for high school students that would like to come check out Union?
Yes, so we do have a couple of programs. They're usually associated with our open house or admitted students events.
Okay.
So there's a couple opportunities for fly-in, and then there's a couple opportunities for like taking a bus or a train in. And you can reach out to us for some more information there. It's just a quick application that you'll fill out to be considered for that.
Okay, so typically through open houses or admitted student events. Very good. What's a major that you feel that is flying under the radar? So you mentioned, biology, poli sci, psych, engineering, and like the leadership in medicine, the 3 and 3 for law. But what's one that you think is like, this is really cool, and I feel like this is maybe very unique to Union?
Yeah, absolutely. I think studio fine arts is flying under the radar, and I say that because there's way more connections with other disciplines than you may see on its face, right? Like to me, 5 years ago, studio fine arts was painting, drawing, that's it. But if you think about it, consider how engineering pairs with visual arts, right? With that drafting and those project design elements. Think about how economics connects with digital media and marketing, right? And psychology. So there's a lot of these kind of interdisciplinary connections that we have found through the visual arts programs at Union. And I always encourage students to find those intersections because I think it'll help diversify their experiences and help prepare them for life after college as well.
Okay, very good. So as far as the student body, I want to talk about maybe like two ends of the spectrum. Do you have an honors college or an honors program at Union?
We do. It's called the Scholars Program.
Okay.
It is invite only. We offer it to the top 10% of our applicants each year. There's a few benefits associated with that, including a independent research project that you take ownership of in your sophomore year and being able to take an extra class for free. Um, so I was actually part of that program. I adored it. One of my 8 projects that I mentioned was actually I studied factors that impacted students' decisions to enroll at Union. So I did that as a sophomore before I
That would
knew I
be
would end up in
interesting.
admissions. I know.
Like a
Um,
sociology type project? Like what are like the things that like make you feel the feels about Union, or like outside influences like parents, friends, financial?
yeah,
Like that'd be really
very
interesting.
psychology based. Absolutely. Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
That's awesome. Okay, so you said the benefits of that program. You said the independent research project. What about like housing, stipends, extra scholarship opportunities, anything like that?
Yeah, so we don't have separate housing for our scholars because we really value an integrated community. We're a residential campus, so all of our students, plus or minus, about 92% of our students will live on campus for all 4 years. And the 8% of students who aren't on campus are right across the street in off-campus apartments or are commuters. Um, so we find that, we just want everyone to be connected and we don't want to segment the union population in that way because all our students are really high achieving and fantastically gifted. And so we want to, really just integrate our community. And then no stipend. We offer merit scholarships at Union, and that's regardless of the scholars program. You'll be automatically considered for merit scholarship with your application. You do not have to do anything additional. We will
Okay.
consider you for merit automatically. Um,
Okay.
for financial aid, we're really fantastic at meeting full demonstrated need. As long as you get us your materials on time when we ask for them, we need the CSS profile and we need the FAFSA. So that allows us to, evaluate how much money it will take to get you to Union. And if you're admitted, we're saying that the difference between what you can contribute and how much Union costs is what we will fill with scholarships and grants and just a tiny bit of loans.
That's really special. I think people don't understand really what that means when you see a college says meet, try, like you said, maybe you're really close, maybe you're at like 90 to 95%. But to meet all of a student's demonstrated financial need is really huge. And we find that a lot in like the really high echelon, like the Ivies, the Ivy pluses that have these massive endowments. So to have a school that, I mean, definitely like a very like well-known competitive school like Union, but like a smaller school like that, that's pretty rare. So definitely something to keep in mind. And like you said, automatically considered for merit scholarship requires no additional scholarship application or extra forms. Do you have any type of hidden scholarships? So say a student is, very invested in STEM and they love Union and there's a $10,000 gap. Maybe they don't qualify for full need, their need is high, but like they still need to be cognizant of cost. Is there anything that they could reach out to you or someone in a department and say, like, I really need an extra 2 grand. Do you have any named grants or anything additional I can apply for Union? Do you have anything like that?
That's a good question. Short answer, no.
Okay.
All of our scholarships are within kind of our scholarship pool. And by meeting full demonstrated need, we will automatically match you with scholarships that either fit you or are part of grants that we have to offer as union in general. What I will say is, sometimes students will think, like I might not qualify for very much need-based aid, or I might not qualify at all. It's not worth me submitting the CSS profile. I always encourage students to say, yes, I'm interested in financial aid and to submit the CSS profile because we have actually a specific um, scholarship opportunity which is designed to support middle income families.
Mhm.
So if are only going to qualify for a little bit of need or no need at all, we can give you up to, I believe, $40,000 a year to help with union. And so it makes a really big difference.
Yeah.
So even if you think there's a small chance, definitely just apply for aid, say yes to the CSS profile, and then we'll consider you for basically everything we've got.
Yeah. That's smart. I mean, to each their own, every financial situation is
Sure.
different, but like I'd say 90%, 99% of the time when we're working with student families, just to say like, just fill it out. I mean, some of the
Right.
schools, again, like in Northeast Ohio where I'm located, they have FAFSA filer grants. So even if you're going to qualify for $0, but you fill out the FAFSA, you're going to get $500. Like that's books. That's that is a rather significant cost. So just doing that is helpful. But I think too, the threshold for the CSS is a little bit higher. So like again, like we looked at Stanford, I think we did like a little bit of a presentation for our families regarding financial aid. You can have a household income of up to $250,000 if you're applying to Stanford and still qualify for money. So to think like, maybe in again, Northeast Ohio, $250,000 goes a little bit farther here than it would maybe on the West Coast. But if I'm a Cleveland family applying to Stanford, that's pretty realistic to say, oh, I'm under that threshold. Like my student could get an extra 10 grand a year based on need. Maybe they don't qualify for FAFSA money, but that CSS has a different it's based on the institution's methodology. So how they want to give money is totally their prerogative. And we don't know what that is. So I can't say, what's going to be the case for each school. So definitely fill out,
Right.
like Jules said, fill the FAFSA out. Takes probably take you 30 minutes. Fill the CSS out. I know it feels like a pain. It's a little bit more time intensive, but you just never know what the university threshold will be.
I don't know the exact number, but we're right in that realm that you mentioned above about $250,000. So
Yeah,
fill out
it's
the CSS, it's worth it. I promise you.
for sure. That's a good point. Thanks for bringing that up. So we talked a little bit about the honors college. What about students that might require a little bit more support? Is there any type of maybe like fee-based programs for like LD or ND students, or do you have like a disability support services program or autism support program? Can you tell us anything about that?
Yeah, so we've got a lot of different supports kind of based on what you're looking for. I always like to start out with accommodative services because they help with anything from a medical condition to a learning difference to um, a dietary restriction that you're interested in, just seeking guidance about and how to have those needs met at Union. And there's a ton of different offices that they'll partner with to help offer you different services. So we have the testing center, for example, if your accommodations give you access to extended time or specific environment that has, particular lighting and is quiet, that's an option for you. We have the writing center, which is open to all students. They'll help you with writing of any discipline. You can take your lab report there, you can take your English report there, your essays. They will help you at any stage of the process from brainstorming to final draft. We do not have TAs at Union, which is one of the great things about having a small school, those interactions with professors. So office hours are huge. You can get to know your professors and seek help directly from them. We also have students who are essentially study group leaders, students who have done well in classes in the first 100 levels of different disciplines who will help you study for tests with like Jeopardy like games and things like this, study sheets. They are called supplemental instructors. Um, so there's a ton of different options. If you're looking to just get some help with time management, I actually went to our wellness counseling services and kind of as a first year needed some help just assessing everything and planning life out, that's a resource for you. We have student success planning. So Leslie Clay in our office does wonderful work just meeting with students and kind of building a mentorship relationship where you're being checked in on and you're being supported um, on a more, like a weekly basis instead of, you know, uh, having everything on your shoulders. So there's
Yeah.
tons of different ways. I could go on and on, but I'll stop there.
That's good. No, that's great to know. And I think we tell, like, I think once our students have made a decision, we really focus at Estrella on that matriculation process. So if I have a student that I know has some learning differences or maybe has accommodations at school or just might like struggle with the transition in general, we really advocate for them to get connected with someone over the summer, to reach out to disability services, reach out to someone in the dining hall if they have dietary restrictions, like get that stuff done and out of the way. Because once you're at college, like it's so overwhelming. There's so much going on. You're making friends, you're trying to get ingrained in the campus life, figuring out your schedule, like just take care of that stuff over the summer. And I feel like the stigma is lifted too. Like just do it. I think we're way more tolerant as a society of, accommodating people and just like putting it out there. I think it's almost harder if you don't say anything and hide it and then you're trying to backpedal out of a D that you got on a test because you didn't have enough time or you're too distracted. So just handle that stuff in the summer. Reach out to Jules or if whoever your admissions counselor is, if you're
Yeah.
not sure who to reach out to, they'll be able to direct you in the right spot. So
And hopefully that helps too. Like, please reach out. I'm not scary. Hopefully you can tell that. I mean, I
hey,
have
look at the
part of
dog.
my
You're not
background,
scary.
for goodness sake, right? But, we want to help you. So please do reach out to us.
Yes. So, okay. Well, we're about out of time. So I have one more final question, and you can kind of answer which part of this you want because I've stumped some people on it, even though you probably had some of the questions to begin with. Who would you say has been the most exciting guest or speaker on Union's
Oh,
campus or the most interesting alumnus?
it's so hard to pick just one.
Okay, well, that's good. At least you're like, oh, I have no idea. We've never
Yeah.
had anybody interesting.
So one of my favorite speakers, we had Pete Davidson come and give a
Oh
give a
man.
show. It was so funny. We had Bill Nye the Science Guy come. I don't know about any of y'all, but that's where my interest in science first began. He came to Union. Um, DNCE with Joe Jonas performed at Union. That was cool. Flo
Oh my
Rida.
God.
We've had presidents come out of the union education, so I could go on and on and on about alumni. But one recent alum who we're really, really proud of and really excited about is Madison Vitale. And I don't know if anybody's familiar with the sister snacking like TikToks, but they're big on TikTok and basically like trying out different snacks and things. And she made the Forbes 30 under 30. So
Oh,
we're really
wow.
excited. Yeah, so we're really excited to see that. She's a class of
Look that up.
2017 grad, right? So it's awesome.
All right, I'll have to check that out. But that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, Estrella has a Jonas brother connection. So Christina, our
No
own,
kidding.
so fun fact, I have triplets. They're downstairs. My boss has triplets who owns Estrella. She has triplets that are teenagers, but her one daughter has type 1 diabetes, and she and her husband help out with they're like board members of a large like diabetes awareness group, and they're on the board with Joe Jonas. I think it's
No
Joe.
kidding.
'Cause he also has type 1 diabetes. So when they came to Cleveland last year for their concert, they got to like go backstage and like hang out in the green room with Joe Jonas. I'm pretty
That's
sure it's
pretty
Joe
cool.
Jonas. It's one of the Jonas brothers. I don't know them that
Is it
well, but
Nick? I
still
want
kind
to
of a
say
big
it's
deal.
Nick.
So yeah, there's our Union Jonas Brothers
There you
Estrella
go.
connection. So
Beautiful.
well, thank you so much for your time. It was wonderful meeting you and Charger. If you're
Yeah.
interested in Union and you're watching this, please reach out to Jules. She'd be happy to answer any of your questions or connect with you. I wish you a wonderful holiday and thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, take care. Thank you so much. Bye.